Sanbonane, Dumelang, Absheni, Molweni, Ndimadegwane. Goeiemorgen. My name is Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Welcome to Power Talk. A wise man once said, "Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not break." Whatever past may have been on you, on me, on all of us, that may have thought it broke you, it didn't, because we were always flexible. Over 2,400 years ago, a great mystique in China, Lao Tzu, wrote a book called the Tao Te, in which, I quote, he wrote, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step." Today we begin a new journey. There's always somewhere, somehow, where you are starting all over again. That is human, that is welcome, and we must embrace it. Power Talk is at the center of talk radio. I'm here to facilitate, coordinate, and frame a conversation, frame a talk. Talk is very much human. It is the basis on which our country opened a new journey over 30 years ago. It is an investment in talking across boundaries, talking across class lines, across racial lines, across religious, ideological, and cultural lines to constitute a common existence. Talk is important. 3 principles that I think are important. First is framed by Fanon in the Black Skins, White Masks, that to speak, to take on a language, is to exist absolutely for the other. We talk for the other. We don't talk for ourselves. We wouldn't have to talk if it wasn't to exist for the other. And we have to exist absolutely for the other. Who is the other? As a lover, as a stranger, is a colleague. It is a community different to yours. It is a religious belief different to yours. It is an ideological orientation different to yours. An opinion different to yours. Secondly, we listen. We have to listen to understand, to embrace the true advance of the other. And that is at the center of what we will be doing here. We will be listening to each other. But finally, choose the best form of the argument. We don't talk to win the argument. We talk to win the other. We talk so that we can increase and multiply the forms of freedom, justice, and equality, the forms of love, the forms of peace, that our existence can always already be a better existence. But here's the mandate. Just remind ourselves of Power FM, the Power Manifesto.
Power to your ambition. Power to what you stand for, what you believe in. To making something out of anything and everything out of nothing. Power to the wise, the warriors who conquer boardrooms, social battalions, and skeptical bureaucrats. Power to the courageous souls, the spiritual teleporters, them who raise future leaders while shaping leaders' futures, all in a day's work. Leaders in their own right, crowd shakers, the groundbreakers. We say power to you, the harmonic, melodic airbender, the platform taker, the voice of reason, the perception shifter, the sister and brother from another mother. To you who envisions an Azania alive, to you who have your ear to the ground of this golden plateau, immersed in conversations that are yet to be heard. To you who realize and materialize all that can possibly be done under the South African sun. You who won't give up until what's right is done. We say to all of you who know what's true, the time has come to dial into a frequency that allows you to really be you. To you we say power. Power FM. Now we're talking.
That's the mandate. That's the mandate. This is your show. This is a show of the people. I'm nervous. I'm very, very discombobulated. But I'm also happy, and I hope you are too. And I invite all of us on this Power Talk every day, weekday, Monday to Friday, 9 to 12, 9 in the morning to 12 midday. I want to associate myself to the solidarity with the people that are facing floods in KwaZulu-Natal, Umzinyathi, Tugela, Ilembe, and eThekwini Metro. We hear of a story of children that were taken by the river whilst trying to cross to go and get an education. As a country, we got to be better. We ought to have known all the roads that lead to access to education. Rivers and floods cannot be what constitutes a barrier, what constitutes the closing of doors to learning. Our condolences indeed to the families of the affected. In many homes, as we all know, the pause of the blessed rains are coming down on the rooftops, but in some parts of our country, in Johannesburg in particular, the taps don't have water, and water is supposed to be life. Let's have a proper relationship with water. This is your show, as I said, and today we have named it the Orientation Day. I've got some great and powerful figures who have been in the broadcasting industry, who have been coordinating, facilitating, and framing conversation for over 30 years on different radio stations across the country. We've got Thuso Motaung, who's going to be with us later on. Ntate Thuso, very excited. Mam Shado Twala, she's coming through as well as Linda Sibiya, Mr. Magic. They'll be joining us from around 10 o'clock. We spoke to Mam Felicia Mabuza. We spoke to the great John Robbie. And that's what the show is going to be about today. Stay tuned indeed. But we're going to start with you. What do you expect? What do you want to hear on Power Talk? What do you want to see happening every day in your life between 9 and 12 here on Power Talk? But before we go to the open lines, I just want to pass umntana enkosi, umntana omhle, umntana wegazi, umthandeni, ngoba umzila lo asisho buti. Umzila. Welcome everyone. I see the lines are already kicking. From now up until 10, we'll be taking the open lines. We'll be taking your calls, and we're going to start in the capital city with Hamlet. Hamlet, welcome to Power Talk.
Good morning, Dr. Ndlozi.
Good morning.
It's good to have you on the Power Seat and the Power Talk. We're expecting a lot from you.
Thank you.
And, you're such one of the most, incredible, politician, personality-wise as well, somebody who's passionate about this country. And we expect that we'll have, honest, transparent, robust conversations about really how do we really frame, conversations that, catapult into, what could be a pool of solutions for this country. And we know that, we are talking about, issues of infrastructure now in KZN. There are a number of issues that this country, is confronted with. And I believe that it's not just going to be a platform of conversation, but I hope that this conversation can reach the right ears and minds, people who make, laws, people who make decisions, and so that we can begin to be the change that we want to see. And welcome, Dr. Ndlozi.
Thank you.
I'm really, really excited to have you on this.
Thank you very much, Hamlet. Thanks for the love, and indeed, I hope that that's precisely what we are going to do. I'm going to go now to Woodmead, Karabo Dumela.
The People's Day, are we still allowed to call you that?
I hope so, Karabo. Yeah, you just made me shy in studio here. I don't know. Was that your purpose?
You are still our People's Day. Married as you are, you will remain our People's Day.
Thank you.
So what an honor. What an honor. It's always been, how do I put it? It's always been a wish to hear you speak.
Thank you.
Constantly and continuously, because such wisdom comes when you speak. I remember the interview you had on Morning FM think you were 16, 17 at the time. Still so wise at your young age.
Thank you.
You had an interview that I remember so well, and you sat with Emandra Petty a few years ago on the Power Show. We've wanted to hear you speak for so long, and you've been quiet, and we respect the reasons behind that. But this is the Power FM chairman's greatest news of all time, to have you join us. We get to listen to you every single day from today going forward. You get to share your insights, your wisdom. Such an intellect, such a pleasure, such an honor. We welcome you onto Power.
Thank you,
and we look forward to the days coming. We appreciate you, sir. Stay as humble as you are, as smart as you are. There's nothing to be anxious about. Just remain as authentic. And you, I think I'll miss your singing. I hope you get to do that every now and again.
Well, I don't know if there'll be backers in here. These guys, Denzel and Tbo. If I start a song, I hope they can back me. Thank you so much.
Put us online and we'll back you. Thank you, sir. All the best.
Thank you, Garabo Kilebilo Minahani. And then let's go to Tembisa Boniswa. Welcome. Welcome to Power Talk.
Ninjani?
Ngiyaphila unjani?
Ngiyaphila. Firstly, I'm so excited. Welcome. I'd say I expect nothing but greatness, and I expect that because that's what I've seen from you. And I'm so excited to see you individually because I've always seen you in a group, in essence. And I'm glad that I'm going to be able to experience just your potential as you are in the studio. I was at the Vits talk that you had last week. I was in like one of the overflow rooms, and what you presented there is certainly what I know you're going to be able to come and share with the masses. I don't even think Vits was a big enough venue. You know, it was very full. Some people had to sort of like go home because that's how packed it was. I'm actually grateful that most South Africans are going to have access to you. And there's a term that they use there, epoch, very academic. So I'm looking forward to this new epoch of talk. And I will say talk is great, but I hope that the next term that you're going to have, we're going to add a bit of action, especially for the people. We'll be able to put together like different resources. So whatever it is that we discuss in the studio doesn't just finish when people close the door and they go home, but there's actual solutions that we'll be able to implement in our spaces, as small as they are, as big as they are. So that's what I look forward to.
Hope we can live up to that. And now this is lovely. Puti Tbo's, Ntate Uncle Tbo's from Kaya FM. Give me some black love, Uncle.
Let me cut in. I just cut a song for you, Mbuyiseni. I mean, that is now cardinal rule number 1.
Okay.
That you never break on music radio, sir.
Okay. I'm happy you broke it. I'm happy you broke it.
The things you're making me do.
I'll come and organize a proper protest if they want to fire you.
No, don't worry about that.
Thank you.
Come on now. Welcome.
Thank you.
I love, and that's a beauty, and I think your story here talks about something that we hardly, I think, encourage, that we are multi-potentialized.
Yeah.
So you must never say there's only one box. Because at the core of whom we say is you are a communicator. At the core of it. Whether it be communicating for the struggles of our people.
Yes.
Or keeping the conversation going. And I'm glad that you're with Given, because I remember having a conversation with him talking about how important it is that South Africa needs to keep talking.
Yeah. It's
very important because in that diversity of thought, that's when we find commonality or understanding at least, So I said, when I saw you doing this, I was like, you know what? More than anything, yes, you are going to be challenged. The new environment. And more than anything, my advice to you is, remember the good doctor.
Yeah.
Whenever that mic switches on, it is not about you.
Yeah.
It's about the listener. It's about this country. Hence my post when on X I said, ours is to educate and entertain. And keep the conversation going. Welcome to the mid-morning, and may we make this country vibrant and hopefully rise from its ashes to become the glory that we know it to be.
Thank you so much. And my best of love and wishes to you too. Thanks for welcoming me. I will embrace those words and this call for all the days of my life. And I just want to give a shout out to all Kaya FM listeners. Thank you. We love you. And thanks for welcoming me, Uncle Tbos.
All the best, my brother.
Yeah.
Power Talk with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, where your voice is heard and opinion matters.
You have no idea what just happened in here. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sure you know what I'm about to say. The man of God, anointed.
Yes,
from Sharpeville.
Tbo
Tbo Touch. He just walked in here. What's up, man? Man?
I'm a fan of leaps. When people make a quantum leap, I have to be there to witness it so that we don't distort history.
Yeah.
How
are you feeling?
Look at you, man.
We're from the Val together.
Yeah.
I don't know why they renamed the place.
I don't know.
We always felt very Val.
Nah.
People of the river.
You know, they said, can you do it over the phone? I said, no, I'll do better. I'll come in studio.
You'll come in studio?
Yes.
How about you take the show?
No. I just came to wish you well, and I came to just assert the fact that you've been tasked with a very special gift. Radio is not like TV, like any other medium. You connect with people emotionally. You connect with people. The power of audio surpasses any kind of wave of communication. So we have a doctor now, ladies and gentlemen, gracing the airways. Wow, this is a special moment.
I know you.
Yes.
Spiritually.
Yes, sir.
How about you say a prayer for me?
Come on.
And for the listener.
Let's do it.
For all
Heavenly
of
Father,
us.
we stand here knowing that you spoke this day into existence before we got here. In the book of Joshua, you said before we were conceived, Lord, you already knew us. We spoke this day into existence. We just happen to be the variables to bring it to manifestation. We thank you for the revenue that's coming. We thank you for the audiences that's coming. Shout out to the big visionary of this station, my brother Given Mkari, for being so amendable and saying, let me disrupt the space. Here's your servant, Mbuyiseni, Lord, as a doctor, accomplished as he is. He could have been incorporated. He could have gone anywhere else, but you brought him here. Lord, revive why he's here. Bring him closer to his dream. Bring him closer to that vision. And to everybody that's listening, let them have a prosperous week. And don't forget, Lord, grace us today between 3 and 6 p.m. In Jesus' name we pray.
Yeah.
Amen.
Tbo Touch, everybody. Thank you so much, my brother. I love you.
I love you more.
Love
you more.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
listening to you, man. I'm listening. Have a good one, bro.
This is so much love. I'm happy. I'm gonna ask that we take Tsidi Madia, EWN Auswaka. Tsidi, Matsidiso. Hello, Matsidiso.
I expected you to sing for me because that's what you do.
Matsidiso, Wana. Hi, Sally. Utamaya.
That's my song.
How are you?
Mbuyiseni, I'm great. Number one, good morning. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very nervous, but this legend
good.
just walked in. I feel I'm standing on the weight of great shoulders.
You deserve this moment. You deserve the joy, the nerves, all of it. I just called in to wish you well. Welcome to our world of talk. Welcome to our world of holding leaders accountable. May leaders' freedom reign on your watch. May you enjoy your audience. May you have conversations, as they say, that fact in the spirit. I just wanted to recognize this moment and to wish you well. And may leaders' freedom long reign.
Thank you so
That's
much.
all.
Thank you. I love you too, my sister. Thank
Always
you.
love.
Thank you. That's Tidi. We're going to take the headlines with Nhlanhla Sihume. Stay tuned to Power Talk with me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi.
Stay informed. Power Talk with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, 9 a.m. to midday on Power 98.7.
Thanks, Kanyisile Kulu, on the traffic. Please stay safe on the roads there. If you just joined us, welcome to Power Talk with me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, on Power 98.7. We've got callers. We're still taking calls up to the 10 o'clock top of the hour. I see you there, Boniwe, Danster in Lanseria, but we're going to start with AB in Acacia. Hello, AB.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Ndlozi.
Good morning. Good morning.
Big welcome to Power FM.
Thank you.
Baba, you are welcome. We've always envied you because, the first time I saw you, I suspected you were misplaced, and I asked myself, this man has a big heart to be working with some of the people that you were working with. Welcome to Power FM.
Thank you deeply. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you've got a big heart, and we've always wanted people like you on Power. And I just wanted to comment on the Minister of Small Business Development, or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ms. Stella Ndabeni. I just wanted to say South Africans must be given first preference. And I believe when people register sponsor shops, they need documentation like your ID and your proof of residence. And I believe South Africans are supposed to have been given first preference because we cannot, we can't afford to finance foreigners, whereas our own people are suffering here. We as much as when you go to other countries, you cannot be helped, you cannot be financed, you cannot have your business being grown. Instead, you get this negativity that we come across. So I just want to appeal to her. I believe she's listening after the kind of, speech she gave. She must refrain from funding foreign nationals. This money must be solely for South Africans. When are we going to reach a stage where we say South Africa for South Africans? Why do we want to extend our hands so when in a crisis already of job creation? Yeah. The next point I wanted to make, is we've got factories.
Yeah.
From Huase, Parankua and Babelehi. They must also look into, they mustn't, be reactionary on the issue of jobs after 22 kids have died. They must also look into helping themselves around, because the brick and mortar is there. They must just allocate this small business, this industrial side to small and upcoming businesses so that they create jobs.
Thank you, AB. What I'll do for you, I'm going to cut this clip for you and send it to the minister and see if we can source some kind of response for you. But we'll definitely send this message to Stella Ndabeni. She was on the breakfast show with my sister Tessa Dooms. And thank you so much for the call. Thanks for the love. Hope you will be continuing to listen and call in on the show. I'm going to go to Boniwe now. She's been holding for a while. Hello, Boniwe.
Hey, Ndlozi, how are you?
Ngiyapilunjani.
I'm good, thank you. I just wanted to wish you well today on Power FM, and also as a girl from Val, stop signing so I literally want to say to you, we're actually looking forward to contributing to your show.
Are you from Sebokeng? Ah. This is a pleasant surprise.
Right? So
that's the high school I attended. Yeah. Lovely.
So actually, that was a very special moment that you had now with Tbo Touch as well, to actually seeing people from the Val today saying, we're going to be listening in, tuning in and supporting one of our homies. All the best. Looking forward to witnessing your success and supporting you all the way.
Thank you so much, Aus Boniwe. Yeah, okay. This here doesn't need. I think we're getting a lot of love, Denzel. I think we're getting a lot of love. This is possibly how South Africa at its best functions. We're getting a call from the legendary sports broadcaster Robert Marawa. Oh my God. Over to you, sir.
Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, live on Power FM. This is probably one of the craziest moments, but born out of one of the craziest human beings I know in Gibbonham Curry, so I am not surprised.
Yeah.
All I can say to you is congratulations. The space is there. It's open. It's for you. It's for the taking. I think what you brought into the parliamentary buildings, before unfortunately they burnt down, was a whole lot of new energy. What you brought into the parliamentary buildings was a new discourse, was a new energy, was about engaging intellectually to try and help the majority of people in the country. And I think there were a lot of sound bites that came out because there was a great deal of sense of humor that you brought into the space. There were many quotable quotes. My perfect wedding, for example. So it's going to be a perfect wedding right through up until the end of the journey. This is the start of a great marriage. You started it with that perfect wedding situation. But all I'm saying is that when you mentioned that you're nervous, I said, yes, good.
I am nervous. You have no idea. I'm looking for some kind of therapeutic advice because it's not leaving me, this nervousness.
You know what the advice is from a therapy perspective is that every day you walk in and you switch on that microphone, that's going to be your therapy. Those 3 hours are going to be your therapy. I mean, I likened your appointment to another intellect, was a great writer, a great journalist, somebody called John Kwelane. So when John Kwelane went across to 702 as a talk show host, a lot of people didn't really rate him because they thought, a great writer, but maybe not a great talker. And he became one of my favorite people to listen to because of the intellectual discourse that he brought into the community as well. And he really took no nonsense from anybody. It was at a critical stage where we were just post the elections in '94. So all I'm saying to you, my brother, is that I think you've got an audience waiting to be taken wherever you want to take them.
Thank you so
and
much.
Nobody more deserving than you, sir. The true doctor, please inject the airwaves.
Thank you so much.
And in the right way, which I know you will.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the love. And I'm coming for some coaching before the end of the week over coffee. I hope you'll accept me. I think that's another way to deal with these nerves. I'm coming for some coaching. Thank you so much. And the Power Talk listeners are really blessed to hear this voice that we have lived under. Many of us grew under the sound of your voice to help us understand a very difficult subject. You have no idea. Sports is a very emotional and difficult subject for many of us. And thank you so much for blessing our show.
Thank you so much, man. May the marriage begin.
Thank you. We're going to move to Bongani Nekuruleni. Bongani, welcome to Power Talk.
Dr. Ndlozi, how are you?
Ngiyaphila njani?
Ngiyaphila dokotela Nkosi yami. I wish you the best. Welcome to Power Family. I just want to congratulate you and thank very much to the Power management that they have put Dr. Ndlozi as the speaker of the day today, from today until. Thank you very much, Doctor. Welcome and welcome, Doctor. We will learn a lot from you, I know. This is our school. Thank you very much, Doctor. You are most welcome.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu babongani from Ekuruleni. Thanks so much for the welcoming notes and the love that is outpouring in here. Our lines are buzzing, but I'm told also we've got a lot of voice notes. Let's give some ear to the people who have sent WhatsApp notes.
Good morning, Mbuyiseni, and welcome to Power Talk. Welcome to Power FM. This is someone in Polokwane. Yeah, we're looking forward to great conversation. Yeah, let's change lives. Let's make sure that we contribute, to the development of this country. I know that you're going to bring, nice topics, engage us, and make sure that we debate, not try to prove a point. So yeah, we're looking forward to a great show. We love you, and thanks for joining Power FM. Simon in Polokwane, thank you.
Dr. Ndlozi, welcome. I'm one of those people who are your number one fan. Yeah, and I'm even more of your fan right now, if you know what I mean. Welcome. The nerves, just throw them away. You have a huge lineup for today. It's going to be exciting. But our tradition, you must tell us which team are you supporting, local and international. Please, Tapalomalete from Teresa Park.
Welcome to the show and the Power family, Dr. Mbuyiseni. I wish you nothing but the best. We've been looking forward to having you. We wish you all the best, and may the good Lord carry you through this new season of greatness that you've just embarked on. Thank you. Welcome, Pindile from Peli.
Connect with Mbuyiseni on X at Mbuyiseni Ndlozi.
Thank you so much for those voice notes. Keep them coming. We're still on the open line. If you've just joined us, this is Power Talk with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. And we're still on the open line. We've got Advocate Tbo Touch from Johannesburg. Welcome to Power Talk.
Africa, Dr. Ndlozi, welcome to Power, man. You are coming at the right time of Shavilanga massacre, Google 87 today.
Yeah.
And I hope that you will bring that aspect of the political engagement, of broadening the understanding of the continent. Because I will always feel that we should not always touch about South African history and politics, but broadening this aspect of the African consciousness.
Yeah.
But I hope you will enjoy. And at some point, as you say, you are never. Sometimes because you are a singer, you must always play music sometimes when you open the show, like Monday and Fridays. Just ease up. The current affairs from 6 to 9. You have to go from between 9 and 12. But always musically, it will also strengthen you. But it will be great to have a person who's an intellectual, with a former member of parliament, to bring that knowledge once more to our listeners, as you'll be sharing and hearing with our listeners and talking power to truth. And like I said, you are coming on tomorrow to be the day of Miriam Makeba, a great day of Mama Africa. Very interesting moment that we're seeing in this country. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Advocate Tbo Touch. Let's take Enhle in Johannesburg. Hello, Enhle.
Hi, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, Sisi. How are you?
I'm good. You answer Bande Linda, Judge.
Makamdela, Putelwayo. Isibongo sakho uNdlozi.
Cha.
Oh.
Ngizwa nkosekhaya kwaNdlozi.
Siyabonga. Wamkelekile.
Siyathokoza. Dr. Q, I'm gonna be a regular caller. In fact, I am a regular caller if you are.
Lovely.
Yeah. So all I'm saying to you, maybe you better polish your edges around the energy, the IPPs, the renewables, and all those things. Read those papers, read those dissertations, because everything that we're gonna have now, the IRP is gonna be coming from those dissertations, from your fellow vets to our ITs, as well as the METIs. They are coming together with this big opposition to the IRP. The IRP 2030,
yes,
the upcoming one for the renewables. So all I'm saying is that there is going to be a very big discussion, given the Kuberg that Unit 2 is coming back.
Yes,
and the what do you call these people? The Greenpeace people opposing the nuclear energy.
Yes.
You know the space.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So,
I'll polish. I think it's a good call. I'm gonna get right onto it to polish and help constitute a very fruitful conversation about the future of energy in this country and maybe the continent as well. Thank you so much, Enhle.
given the banks that have been giving people loans to put up the solar panels, and are we getting stable with energy, or we are going down? So that's going to be a very big discussion.
Thank you. Looking forward to your participation in it, and have a blessed day. We're going to move to Lehlohonolo in Pretoria, the capital city, in Tshwane. Lehlohonolo, dumela.
You know, in Sepedi we say legodimo le bulegile.
Yeah.
Those are when we saying that the blessings have come down, and thank you very much for accepting this challenge of having a broader conversation with all stakeholders. I call it. It's called radio. It incorporates every aspect of our conversation, especially where we are as a country in terms of transformation and trying to create a new nation.
Yeah.
I'm in business myself, and I'm a regular contributor there. What I wish we can elevate in terms of conversation is just a total economic emancipation.
Yeah.
And creating value.
Yes.
Using state. You know, we seldom underestimate the amount of, the power that the state could infuse in changing the lived experiences of our people. Like I said on Friday, that the state capacity truly needs to be rebuilt, and it starts with having conversations and conscientizing the powers that be that, guys, do not rest on your laurels. Those state levers that you've got can change a child in Ulubedu,
yes,
a child in KwaZulu-Natal that was not supposed to be a statistic of having been swept away by a river trying to go to school.
Yes.
A child that fell into a pit latrine, and yet we've got a R1 trillion economy that could not help that child.
Yes.
And so I'm saying, welcome, Dr. Ndlozi. We are here. We are going to contribute. We are going to butt heads for the betterment of this country. Thank you.
So much. Thank you so much, Lihlonolo. Building state capacity as a way to economic emancipation. Very, very powerful. And I'm looking forward indeed to your contribution on the show. Let's go to Randfontein. Mpho Dumela.
Dumela, my brother, Dumela, and welcome to Power FM.
Thank you.
This is where we always draw knowledge from listeners, yourself, facilitators. So it's a powerful platform of learning. So we are happy to have you here. We have loved you, Olekakwa, and even though we were on the other side, but we have always loved you.
Thank you.
He's one of us, irrespective that the red hair, but he's one of us. We love him. So I also love the fact that we are properly grounded. One of the things that you've done this morning is to call for a prayer. It's really grounding. Thank you very much. We support you. We love you. We are a regular caller throughout. We also say to Larato in absentia, you've done very well, my sister. You are represented by another person who's also very powerful. So, my brother, all the best. I'll talk. One of the things that I really like is the global geopolitics.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that you will give us new perspectives. The Ukraine stories, the Middle East stories, we are looking forward to hear from you. But there's another last one that I wanted to say, that the focus on local government in the country help us to sharpen the issues there. Thank you, Ndlozi, and all the best, my brother.
Kilewile Minahani, Mpho from Randfontein. And indeed, shout out to my predecessor, Lerato Mbele. She did a great job. And I'm hoping that we will continue together that legacy of robust conversation. Mangtatu Dudu was an orange farmer. Dudu, welcome. Kaslamakas.
Hi, Putwan.
Hello, Dudu.
I'm so excited to sing.
That's my sis Onjana. Awukho emsebenzini?
I am, but
Okay.
I had to listen. I had to listen. This is a big thing. We are so proud of you. We wish you all the best, and we know that you're gonna shine because you are that light to us and everybody. And we as a family, we are so happy, and we'll be with you throughout this journey.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu, ngiyabonga. Thank you so much, Shange. Khomotso from Mood, welcome to Power Talk.
Yes, welcome, my brother. How are you?
I am okay. I'm getting in there. I'm picking up the
No,
pieces
you are.
as I go.
We don't practice, and that for me is good because I'm like, see, this one honors us. So he's practicing.
Yeah.
But I think in all the things I've listened to, I think how so they haven't warned you away. Now how much more? So much more than we're going to love you. Like you're going to be addicted to us.
Lovely.
We're going to be part of your life.
Lovely.
But I think the last caller, before your sister actually got into something, what excites me about having you is the spaces you've been. So I know you're not gonna wait for necessarily a ministerial answer. You're going to get the officials and the people with answers and us to talk and get us excited. Also happy with the more activist approach, and you have a great team. You know, Fano Kwaro, Naramarata Tatayang. So I know you're also gonna be loving on us. So welcome. Look forward to it. Look forward to great conversations. And yes, the geopolitics, Batung. Let's console ourselves. The America and other things. If we want to know why or whatnot, while others fall apart, we can still pick up the pieces, So thank you, my brother. Look forward to getting to know you better.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Khumudzo. Lovely message there. Indeed, I think this question of geopolitics is absolutely urgent. We do live in a world that is packed with international networks. And saying that, I've got my brother Aldrin St-Pierre. This is amazing. This is amazing. Welcome to Power Talk. I know you're an expert on geopolitics. Welcome to Power Talk. The platform is yours.
Yeah, the platform is yours. The platform is actually yours, Dr. Mbuyiseni. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. I just wanted to give you a call and like a little bit of a pep talk in Yana, because once upon a time we were on that seat as well. And I know that you're going to kill it, man. I really, really know that you're going to kill it. And like I told you before, the Power Listener is incredible. My experience around the Power Listener, bangezi. Bangezi the bangpega ngapegeka. And I am what I am today because of the Power Listener. But a thought crossed my mind also, Dr. Mbuyiseni, and it is, what would Professor Peter Hudson say about this stride that you have made? Well done.
And may his soul rest in peace. Aldrin, I'm going to tell you online, we have an amazing guest tomorrow. A reunion of some sort. You did a nice, what do you guys call it? When I got my PhD.
Yeah.
And you aired an interview I had a long time ago.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, she's coming for a reunion.
Ooh.
Tracy going, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So stay tuned. I know. I'm trying to deal with my nerves. I don't know what to do. So thank you so much. Hearing your voice, it brings me a lot of comfort and a lot of confidence. And definitely at the center of it all, I'm hoping that we will give, together with Power Listeners, a powerful and very transformative conversation to our country.
Yeah, and I think also the opportunity to have conversations that we couldn't necessarily deal with because we don't have the depth that you have. And I think that's an interesting thing for me that I really look forward to. The best, my brother. All the best.
Thank you. And have an excellent day, and I wish you the best too. I know you're still in the family of the broadcasting industry, so I wish you the best, brother.
Yeah, don't forget to debrief. Very important.
I'll do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's time for the news with Nyakalo Tefo. Stay tuned. Sanbonane, welcome to Power Talk 98.7. We are on the second hour of the very first day on the air with a very, very nervous approach, I must say. My name is Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. I've got with me, I think, a very, very powerful combination of human beings who have blessed our ears, our souls, our spirits for the better part, at least for me. Some of them, I think, from as back as when before I was born. Legends. These are people you call legends. You get that. We stand on the shoulders of giants. We're not starting this. There are people who have been here to help frame, coordinate, and facilitate a conversation. I mean, I think sometimes over very difficult circumstances in the country, circumstances as well in their personal lives, and they've had to come despite those circumstances in their personal lives and help us frame the conversation. First and foremost, from the Lesedi FM, Ntate Thuso Motaung. Ntate Thuso Motaung, he needs no introduction. I grew under the sound of his voice because in the Val, ba mamela Lesedi FM from morning. If you want to contest the radio with Koko, you won't interrupt the show. Haholo holo makhulong amata. Lenaneo haramanane. Lenaneo la setjhaba. Dumela Ntate Motaung.
No, ke a dumedisa a Dr. Opetse hantle.
Re tswile ngabe le utlwile.
No, thank you, Doctor. Ke a leboha.
And second, Shado Twala. We're going to have to do a lot of re-education for South Africans, particularly who were born in the 2000s coming up this way. But I think you are much more of a household name than you want to admit. Mama Shado Twala, MTN Hall of Fame. She was on Metro. She was on SAFM. And she's known for being a judge on SA's Got Talent. Yes. Welcome to Power Talk.
Doctor, I hope it's okay to call you Dr. Ndlozi. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you, Ma.
I'm so excited to have you in the airwaves because I think you'll find your new purpose.
Thank you.
And this is going to open up a whole lot of doctor that we didn't know.
Yes.
A lot of doctoring.
A lot of doctor we didn't know. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, Babu Sibiya, Mr. Magic.
Yes.
He presided over the largest show in the country on Ukhozi FM. And Mr. Magic also needs not much of introduction. I mean, we crossed paths as fighters.
We have love.
Ow, Agi, welcome to Power Talk. Linda Sibiya. Welcome to Power Talk. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I thought to break the ice, really. What was your love for radio? How did it come about? You know, I think if somebody asked you, obviously you fell in love with broadcasting. But what was that epiphany moment? What made you fall in love with radio?
You know, Dr. Ndlozi, now I'm a teacher by profession.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How do you see high? Because I've been speaking Sotho for 43 years. You must know I've been behind the microphone for 43 years.
That's older than me.
Yeah. And speaking,
I haven't turned 40 yet.
And you know, speaking Sesotho and all that.
Yes.
I used to listen to Ntate Masitenyane, soccer. You know, how Mamitse Aitsa, soccer, Pirates, and Kaizer Chiefs. Now go Umamitse, teenage tata, and listening also to Koos Khatebe.
Yes.
Yeah. So, until we are. I'm pusher.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pusher or Norman. Then now one day I'm going to be a radio presenter. Unfortunately, somebody in that Daniel Tbo Touch, I was a Shado Twala, was at home one day and I'm pumana kebapala bolo bana ba skolo.
Okay.
And then I was shouting at one of the boys, "Hey, Mona, bring that." That Ukoko said, I want that voice. I want that voice. On Monday, we are having interviews, Auckland Park, SABC. You must be there. We were about 432. And they only took 3 of us. 3 of us. That's how I joined Radio Ena. Yeah, Lesedi.
And ke lerato la ha.
Yeah, lerato la ke rata jwan radio. Ai.
Mam Twala, what was your love? How did you fall in love?
That's why he's the only one still standing. Out of all of them. He's done such an amazing job. You know, last year we had our 30 years of democracy.
Yes.
And it made us think about 30 years of radio. And especially as women. And I wanted to ask a lot of my co-presenters, and we were the ones to first broadcast in English. We were the first black radio station to, for the urban market.
Yes.
But I wanted to know whether we had an agenda or not. And we actually did not, because I was pondering, did we make a difference? Are women's issues on the forefront today? On all fronts, they're still the same. So I wonder, and I then remember that we really didn't have an agenda. We're just coming out of the cultural boycott. We wanted to be Americans, and that's all the music we played. and we're mimicking Americans in our creative ways in our arts and culture, which is really what my forte was. Arts and culture, the creative industries, and where women are doing most of the work. So I fell in love with that to continue to do that. I heard earlier on your radio station now, that you said if it's not a hit, you don't play it. But we created hits. We found hits. We unearthed new music, new talent, new actors, new all of that. And I want you to continue to do that because I think, and that's where the money lies today, because we've got so much unemployment. People are more creative and doing what their passion is and finding that. And radio is the strongest medium to do that with. So,
Babus B.
Yo, I grew up a show.
Maybe for you is, how did you get to discover the magic?
It was Radio Zulu. It was Kansas City doing 3 to 6 Monday to Friday. The best radio personality. For me, there wasn't a Lisi Zulu. I used to call him a god of radio. And number 2, it was Upoloza the late, the station manager of Ukhozi FM. He was doing breakfast show then. And then there was a TV show on SABC 1, Ezodumo, that the Thuso Motaung birthday.
Yes.
So I had 2 dreams. I wanted to be after Upoloza no Thuso left. Ntate Thuso. So after Babu Thuso, I became the host of Ezodumo. So I had two dreams: radio and television. Babu Thuso, and then listening to Kansas City. So Babu Thuso one day I asked you that. Let me tell him I was here. I was not a straight kid, but Bengalima garage is here in Johannesburg, Hillbrow. I used to walk from Yeovil to SABC Monday to Friday. Italian TV Park and Radio Park. I came to you. You don't remember. You were coming down to Carltonville, Western Mascalators, and I came to you. I said, Baba, I come from KZN. One day I see myself behind the microphone. You said to me, your voice is Yonki Dupanwa. And then I kept it to myself. One day I'll become a radio personality. Can you imagine working from Yeovil to SABC? We Radio Park and TV Park. Radio Park, TV Park. They ended up at SABC Betty and Kombi Sabafundi, the radio and TV. They would give me food while in Clearly Corner Lab. One day, Messi Masimula, Ari, if you want to do 2 weeks calls, TV and radio, technicalities for performance, please come. Then I went there. Through Dita Liang, used to work for SABC2. Ari, you can do it. You don't have money? Say something with your voice. Radio Zulu. Come here. And then do it. So, I wanted to become a radio DJ. I came to Johannesburg after being a security guard. I took a taxi. But you motivated me. So today, I get meeting Mama Shado because now I've been the voice there. Mama
We talk about the voice a lot. He spoke his voice, got him in. His voice got. You're lucky that you don't have to have a particular voice.
But what is that? I mean, Mkari says, come to radio. I'm like, where do we go for vocal training? Because I'm thinking there is a sound, because these sounds, particularly in the 1990s, these were brilliant voices.
Even in the 80s. You know, when you joined the SABC, they would say to you, because we used to work with Afrikaners. Man, on soek daai stem. As ons net daai stem kan kry, dan weet ons het 'n omroeper. Then we know that we've got a radio announcer. You know, they'll take about 4 of us. You can see now, when I sit, I do this. Microphone here.
Yes, sir. We here.
You see? And then they would say, set maar. Op die rooi lig. You remember? Op die rooi lig. Red light. And then they say, your voice is good. Then on the side, they'll tell maybe whoever and say, ach man, askis is a stem. Is nie die stem wat ons soek. We don't like your voice.
So it was a voice job.
And remember those days, they used to take us even to the doctors check.
Serious?
Yeah. Yes.
But
when joining the SABC, in the 80s, they'll take you to a doctor in Bridge Street.
And what
check
were they
your
checking?
teeth. Oh, and then they also check that you don't say the. No, and thereafter
the
nose, the nostril sound. What do you call that? Mutuanaling sinus. And check your sinus, and thereafter check your
hearing.
Sure. And also your eyes.
That's a tough one.
It was we used
a checkpoint.
They'll check you. If your teeth were not okay, I
was like,
if men on sped for on I sped for Dr. Ndlozi. You know. When we joined the SABC during those years, you had to go
to a checkpoint with a doctor.
If
you're joining us now, this is Power Talk with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi here on Power 98.7. We're with Ntate Thuso Motaung, the great Shado Twala, and Mr. Magic Linda Sibiya. We're talking radio. I want to push the conversation a little bit to because it's an orientation. What is the most difficult subject you have ever dealt with? And how did you navigate it? And I know Ntate Thuso's Bua Leona Mkhani was just particularly situated in a time when there were massive killings in the taxi industry. Almost like a lingering apartheid machinery. But what was the most difficult moment you had in terms of an issue? What was the most difficult subject you had to deal with on radio, and how did you do it? Ma'am,
because of my age, I have to think further than others and really try and deal with them. I think some of the things were lesbianism and that space over time. And because I think Brenda Fassie carried the torch for a lot of people at the time. And she was getting a lot of lashback from the public because I think when we rethink, it was something that was never spoken about, but not that it was new. It had been known about culturally. She was not the first. But the country was also allowing these people to come out of the closet and stuff. So having those conversations was very, very difficult. But thankfully, again, because it's a message that government had never had to deal with, but civil society could drive the narrative. And I think that's what assisted us in getting it across. And by putting faces to it, Brenda being the biggest face at the time, and I choose her because she was the female, but it was more difficult for females because they were being raped, corrective rape, and all of those kinds of things. They still are. So, I think I don't know if we've done enough again with that. I think it needs to continue, but that for me was very difficult.
For me, doing 3 to 6, because I think I was leading that time, and then to have the interview with the late Mntwana Pindangene and the late Inkosi Uzulu, Baba Uwagwaipet. One day, I was about to finish my show, and then he came down with the station manager, Bulldozer and Zimande. So the interview was not bought, but he said, no, I want to be live because they were fighting with the other political party. He was the MEC for Social Development and a member of the IFP. So I'm about to finish my show. And then he comes in with the station manager, and then Bulldozer Ati, we are Mfaga Lobaba, or MEC. I'm like, nobody's 5 minutes to 6 at now. So intro it will be like 3 minutes before he says anything. Came on air as it Baba Sakbingla MEC, Sakbingla Gubenata Gukozi FM. Lokunja, Nasiga, Natinga, Lokunjana, Senkona Sibiya, Konale Retwen. I'm like, no, 3 minutes to 6.
Jesus.
And then 2 minutes to 6 and 1 minute to 6. Nothing is like Engashuduto. Ngibuka 13 minutes uthi qhubeka. The news guy is waiting. Lokunjan. Department Zonbingele. So that time it was mock figure and then it was something. And I remember one day Ntate Thuso came and I was live, but he wants to greet me.
Yeah.
And then he was told that I'm live. The late Usheng.
Yeah.
But he must come live. I'm like, no, but I'm doing the show. Then they brought him inside, Usheng. So I'm like, live. Cause your family does Mr. Magic. I'm like, but I can hear you. So I was not allowed even to say, hey, Sheng, hey, Mtwana, Nakungos. Yes. I was live. So to have Abanda Banjalo at that time, it was difficult. The Michelle Kantebe of this world, the late, from the ANC. So you were very careful to bring Mtwana Pindangene from IFP and the ANC. So your producer, at that time we didn't have...
Yeah, we didn't have
there were no producers.
Yeah.
So you need to be very smart and be creative. It must be balanced.
Yeah.
Because you will never say something bad about the ANC or the IFP.
How did you deal with homosexuality, Wazul?
Thank you so much for...
I wanted you to reply to that.
For me, for 3 to 6, it was tough, but I had to, be playful. It was tough about HIV and AIDS, condoms and my gays. Because I'm playful. So I'll do my links and then say, hi, I'm Johnny Cozy, I'm laughing in the corner. So one day one wrote, why is he teasing us? And then the management called me and said, hey, Chief, what are you doing? I'm like, no, we're doing that. But no, don't do it. But they get used to me. Then I invited them to come to my show. We live Turning Bill, and then they understood. But that time it was difficult.
Yeah.
I had to play with the gimmicks while I'm doing my show. It was 3 to 6. But it was difficult. Ukhuluma nje ukuthi kukhona abantu ababili abathanda nayo. Ake bazongena balaleli.
Yeah.
Wasibe uthini lapho?
Yeah.
So it was difficult.
Now was the taxi industry.
Yes.
When somebody calls you and say, Ntate Motaung, tomorrow I'll be gone, they are going to kill me. Somebody told me that they are looking for me. Will it be possible for you, Ntate Motaung, just to call my wife and my kids and tell them that one day I won't be there? You see? Then when receiving such calls, I would say, when somebody tells that really tomorrow or before the end of the week, I'll be gone.
Yeah.
And then at time to receive a call from somebody and says, hey man, Mr. Motaung, there are people who are organizing to kill so and so. That it was very difficult.
But how would you deal with that? What did you do?
Ndate monna motho phela ka thapela motho you'd say oh modimo wa ka jwale ha maemo a le tse ke etsa jwang. And then the following day or after 2 weeks that person has been shot dead. Is gone.
Sure.
And you meet bana ba hae.
Yeah.
Ba re papa rona ba mothuntse ha kena ka mokatlong. And they cry. So it was a very, very difficult show, that one. Yeah, bua Leona Mokhanni. But so as now I can create a platform for them.
Yeah.
That they must not fight.
Yeah.
They must talk. Even passengers also must have a platform, of raising their voices or either maybe their grievances also more in the taxi industry.
Would you be able at some point at least a different opposing forces?
Oh yes, I did. I did.
Can you walk us through that?
That I did. You see, you'd call. I remember one day I called Ntate Motswening. Ntate Motswening ona alwana lin Ntate Mkwena, two different associations.
Yeah.
I would call Ntate Motswening and say, Ntate Motswening, what's wrong? What's wrong? Why are you fighting with Ntate Mkwena? What's happening? Then I'd also call Ntate Mkwena, put them on air. Together.
And force them to talk.
And ask them one thing, guys, tell us, why are you fighting? Then Mutsweni would say, no, Mukwena hamameli, Mukwena just wants to have his taxes in there. And then Mukwena would say, no, man, Mutsweni, man. What's I can tell hey, do you know me, Wena? You know, so he said that piece until Babe Babuisane the taxi the sebetsi. Yes, I did it.
We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Join the conversation on Power Talk. We've got Ntate Motaung, Shado Twala, and Sibiya. It's time for the headlines. Stay tuned.
Power Talk with Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, where your voice is heard and opinion matters.
Welcome back to Power Talk with me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, on Power 98.7. We are with the legendary Ntate Thuso Motaung, Shado Twala, Mam Shado Twala, and Mr. Magic Sibiya. Can I also say Babu Sibiya?
Yeah.
Are you in
No.
that age?
My boys are here.
I also had a very, very extensive, enlightening, and passionate conversation with the legendary Felicia Mabuza. And this is just a piece of that conversation, and the full interview. You will find it. It will be loaded later on our podcast. Let's take a listen. This is essentially the first interview on Power Talk. Thank you deeply for agreeing. I grew up under the sound of your voice and the images that you organized for us on the show on TV.
Okay, let me start off by saying congratulations, Mbuyiseni. And you are living up to your name. Bring him back home. You found another home. That is, media is definitely your home. I've watched you throughout your short career, but I think you've made your mark in many ways in politics. I watch you from 10,000 miles. You make me laugh. You make me cry. You make me want to respond sometimes and say, hey, when I phansi. But most of the time, you really make me laugh. And thanks for joining what I call this fickle media industry. Today you're loved, tomorrow you're not, but how you handle it is what matters the most. You have what it takes, the credentials, the confidence, the charisma, and undoubtedly your being a witty conversationalist. I have no doubt you're going to do a good job. You're filling big shoes. Lerato Mbele's slot. Lerato just said he's the right person, and I'm happy to have passed on the baton to him. So you have a lot of support from the veterans, if we may call them that. We believe you're going to make your mark. Change is a real and positive action. Even if the hurdles seem too high, there is no challenge too great for a determined mind armed with the proper tools. What I'm trying to say is you are armed with the proper tools, academically, socially, and otherwise. You will make it. But capitalize on your political background, because that's why the people brought you on. That's why the people love you. That's why the people call you, what do they call you? The People's Bay?
They do. I'm shocked you know that.
Yeah, so maybe that should be your radio name. Mine was the lady with a touch of class, because I started in Muputatswana at Radio Bob.
Yeah.
And I used to do a radio show, and they called it, I used to say, the lady with a touch of class. So you can say, welcome to my show, Mbuyiseni, the People's Bay.
I'm very shy about the basis on which one becomes the People's Bay. I might not really stand up to the whole aesthetic. I can't do what you do. I mean, you are class. You are still class, and it's a talent on its own. I worry I don't have that sustainability or stamina.
Well, what I'm happy about, we're not making this an interview. We are making it a conversation between mother and son.
Yes.
And I want to believe that I'm giving you little nuggets that are going to help you through this journey. I want to believe that I'm giving you nuggets that will humble you and make you realize that this is not about me, myself, and I. This is about Ubuntu, us, the people. And the minute we understand this about radio and its power as a blind medium, why we have to listen and learn from the people, why we have to listen and hear the people, why we have to listen and feel the people, how we have to listen and see the people even through this blind medium. Half the time we want to talk instead of hear what the people are saying. So I'm going to just say, welcome aboard.
Thank
you. I believe you're on the right side of history, and just stay on the right side of issues. Capitalize on your charisma, on your integrity, on your knowledge, on your authenticity, on your humility, because all those things count.
Thank you so much for the gift that you are, and I wish you lots and lots of health. I wish you lots and lots of happiness, and God bless you. That's the legendary veteran Felicia Mabuza. Ntate Thuso.
No, come on. No, we can go now. Now we can go now.
I want to come to you, Papa. Firstly, how did Makhulong Amadala come to you? Like, you know how many people got healed through that entire service? But just tell us, how did it come to you? Because you navigate from the taxis, death, accidents, to Makhulong.
And then to Makhulong. You know, Dr. Ndlozi, I wrote that program in 1985, the 1st of April. Sure. I wrote that program, Makhulong Amadala. Langs the Groeneweye. When I wrote that, it was, we were still using Afrikaans in the 80s. It was in 1985. I wrote it in Afrikaans. I wrote it first in Afrikaans, and thereafter translated into Sesotho. It's Psalm 23.
Yes.
It's Psalm 23.
Yes.
Then, I was just, sitting at home and saying to myself, what can I do? Because every day, Ribua ka Jesu wa Nazareta. Ribua ka Jesu wa Nazareta. And then, kamona ki shebile le di morals, in 85, I don't know, my Jack Roller, still remember my Jack Roller and all that. I said, how what can I do ka radio? Who feel my Jack Rollers? What can I do ka radio to reach Batubale in the tavern, she beans and all that?
Yes.
Then I wrote Makhulong Amadala. And then I remember that Sunday when I started this program, what kind of food are you eating today?
Yeah.
But kinekia kai, kinekia jwaling. Because kinekia jwaling.
Sibiya.
Starting from what are you eating today?
Yeah.
But actually, I was going to talk about
alcohol abuse.
Yes. That's how I started this program.
Mom Felicia makes an interesting observation about fickle media. That today you are loved, tomorrow they hate you.
Ntate.
What was your moment where, from an audience perspective, you received hatred, and how did you deal with it?
When I was presenting the very same show, Makhulong Amadala, I used to say, Orobetse Kai, why do you come home now in the morning? What's wrong with you? And who was with you?
Yeah.
Who was with you?
Yeah.
And I used to ask Ntate, hey, it's Friday today. Where are you going to tomorrow? Your wife is not going to see you for the whole weekend. Who
Particularly month end.
Yeah. Huh? Who committed I help you? Who was with you in one of the rooms there? And that icon. Men started saying, yeah, Thuso na le nonsense, Thuso buela basadi, Thuso. It's what. Then, you know, can't you. Because they'll hate you for that. Yeah. They'll hate you for telling the truth.
Sure.
They will hate you for telling the truth. So I said to myself, it's better if they hate me when I tell the truth than lying to them.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, Dr. Ndlozi, there's a man called Thomas Sowell. He's 94 years old now. He's an American. When I'm Shado, that man says, if you want to help a person, tell him the truth.
Yeah.
Do not lie to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to help, you can Google his quotes. That if you want to help a person,
truth,
tell him the truth. Don't lie to him.
Yeah.
If you lie to that person, you're not going to help him. So it keeps me going.
Yes.
That is better to tell the truth than to lie.
Yeah.
If obatla ho fa motho thuso mo bolelle nnete.
Yeah.
If obatla ho fa motho thuso Motaung mo bolelle nnete. Mam Shado Twala, what was the greatest, sort of most hateful moment for you, and how did you navigate it?
I tried not to concentrate on who didn't like me, because if you do that, you're debilitating yourself and your actions and what you believe in and what you do. So I could sit here and tell you lots of stories when I thought that people didn't like me. But I'd rather tell you about the good stories of when people liked me. Because that's what made me continue to do the work without fighting for my limitations. One of the things that you were lucky about to talk to Felicia Mabuza Sattel, you know, she brought me up in a way because we're all in Dube. But Felicia also is a big proponent of just trying to do what you believe in and do the best of it to overcome all of that. Otherwise, it really doesn't sit well with you. But she was my ballroom dance teacher. And she used to play music like Young, Gifted and Black for us as little kids, so we could believe in ourselves. And this is what she used as a school at YWCA to get us after school. Our parents were still not back at work. From work. So she'd gather us, the YWCA, and just put us all together. And out of that, I'm happy to say that I won a competition in 1971. It was run at the Bantu Men's Social Center, the competition. And another day we'll talk about the Bantu Men's Social Center, which was opposite Dorke House. That's where a lot of the cultural football stuff was happening. But I also heard in the grapevine that you were a dancer. You were ballroom dancers. You see, the doctoring has come out.
Denzel is a saboteur.
But what were you Latin American? Were you both?
Ballroom and Latin, yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
So
I could cha.
Listen, you and I,
samba.
You and I can do a cha and the tango together.
And the tango,
we must promise people one day. But I'm glad you also won some awards. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get that much high as you did. Yeah.
And why I'm bringing this in is to further instill the importance of the creative arts.
Yeah.
I think all of us have some creativity in us. Even engineers have a creativity. So if we could encourage that outside of the curriculum that we teach our children, I think it makes you a better person. And radio again.
Absolutely.
Is the
We've got a caller before Mr. Magic. Jonas. Hello, Jonas. Welcome to Power Talk. And if you've just joined us, we are with Ntate Thuso Motaung, Mam Shado Twala, and the great Mr. Magic, Linda Sibiya. We're talking about talk radio and what radio means to our people. Welcome, Jonas. You've got the platform.
And thank you very much. And good morning, Ntate Thuso.
Hey, what's up?
I get to work knowledge extension. It's not far from your Hasimi. I get to work. Am I right?
No.
I
Country.
Linda.
Hey, my brother, which one wait?
My complaint doesn't help.
Hey,
I work out the only South African Shado Twala on the stage.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying this? The cookies are everything back to me. Television, radio. Now I'm from a printing. I'm from a printing media, and the armpit of Philly, the late Agri Trust, and Tbo.
Yes.
And Ubra Leslie I grew up under their armpit.
Lovely.
But absolutely young, I'm busy at Power FM because why? Everything, some of these things it touches, and if we talk Dr. James Moroka, I was with him many years ago. So nice for me. Now, Ricky said the new man, the new face on this day, the 3/3/25, which is Julius Malema's happy birthday today. I know it's tough, but let me give him this message from Mao Zedong.
Yes.
I think it's a journey of 100 miles or kilometers start with a single step.
Yeah.
So today is day one. Next time it will be miles away. But Ntate Motaung, the media, punch man, generation. I'm talking about the heroes generation and Malindis.
Hey. Don't go there.
Don't go there, man.
Thanks, Jonas. Thanks.
Thank you, man. I miss everybody, man. But,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm relating the village. Don't worry, I'm not far from the work.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonas, and I hope President of the EFF, Mr. Malema, is listening and receiving the birthday wishes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. But Linda, Sibiya, I don't know. I mean, two things for me.
Sure.
Criticism.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a terrible firing.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the culmination of an actual criticism. But what was that moment of absolute terror for you? And how did you deal with it?
For me, Dr. Q and Shado Twala and Ntate Thuso, I used to do. Yes, and we do maybe one day you must write a new show together. Yeah. No, we do a show together.
That would be lovely. That would be lovely.
Mina, I was doing 3 to 6 codes, and then because I wanted to get listenership from Sesotho, Xhosa, my mother, Mxhosa, Mamvulana, and then my grandmother, Mamfukeng. So I'll do my show in Johannesburg. I'll say to Poloza, the late station manager, Ntate Poloza, I want to go to Johannesburg to do my show. At why? I want to start my show. About Tbo Soweto. So when I ngiqala show ngithi Soweto yabo ngibabingelele Thembisa Dumelang, and then I end up saying on radio magithi kumnandi ngithi kumnander kunzwember uthiner wener linder khozer senkoner manjer nawe uyazer. And then the board of languages isiZulu Metwala, they came to SABC with the band, but this guy is killing the language. And then I was called, and Polo said, why are you saying he's killing the language? But why is saying Gumnander, Gunzwember? Alaska released the song, Washer. Mina, I said Gumnander. And then, you remember that the two, before, when the listenership, you'll come there, you sit behind the window, and you listen to your listeners talking. And then, age 18 to 24, was brought into the studio. But what do you think of Linda's show? That's our show. And then I was number one across Glen Louis. Across. They said I was number one. I
wish I am final.
And then Poloza came back at what boy? He was his friend. At boy. go on air and tell them kumnandi khosana uthingana. They love it, boy. They love it, boy. Gijima mfana wami. And then that day I was doing my show here.
Yeah.
Ngathi Sobato Dumelang, Sanbonani, Thembisa Dumelang, Sosa Ngube Dumelang. Lina Sibiya, kumnandi kumnandi. So man criticized her, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
I tried to be creative.
Yeah.
That is why I had a show in universities to see the youth. And then the survey came back from Sunday Times and Makino. Mandela was number 1. I was the only radio personality who was number 20 amongst the politicians in the top 100.
Yeah.
So Polola called me, Ntate Thuso.
Yeah.
Boy.
Also.
Yabona ke manje. Abathi phansi ngoNtswembari. Sithi phezulu ngoNtswembari. So the board of isiZulu, they criticized me. And then they came back. But this is a youth show. Let the guy be young. Let him do the show. And it worked for me.
If you're joining us now on Power Talk, Power 98.7, you can join in the conversation. We've got veteran broadcasters here, Linda Sibiya, Shado Twala, Ntate Thuso Motaung. Call us on 0861987000. Our WhatsApp line is 0833037093 and join the conversation. We are speaking on radio, we're speaking about talk, we're speaking about conversation. I want to go back, Ntate Thuso.
Hey.
I am absolutely fascinated by Mahulong Amadal. Tell us about the magic Maine.
The Reverend.
The Reverend.
You know, what's about, let me say, before the Tavatsena Tsengata. When I mentioned that something Eki Utwang who Dr. Ndlozi as a presenter. You know, how li raw joloka how li so usatse from maybe any other radio station. Joloka wena hona jwale. Let me tell you, Dr. Ndlozi, you are going to be big.
Hey, it's gonna be too much.
I'm telling you, are going to be big.
Too much.
Because you are not from any other radio station, whereby now, when somebody like Shado Twala, Felicia Bualuena, you'll say, no, I know. Bualuena, Hannaki Bualuena. That's a saying that says,
that's power.
You know, whilst you are green, you grow.
Yes.
As soon as you become ripe, you rot.
Yeah, that is true.
You see now?
Yeah.
So with you,
Aye.
I'm happy that you joined us from Department 18, not from another radio station.
Yes.
It would be difficult for them, even your producers, to help you because you'd say, what's
Yeah, that is true.
That unototaka pride.
Yes, sir.
That pride, you know. And prideful is unteachable.
Yes, sir.
You cannot teach a person
who's
who's full of pride.
Yeah.
Pride, you cannot teach. Yakbulala pride.
Yeah.
Pride is unteachable. Now, where nangalang ukubona ngakhona, Dr. Ndlozi,
I'm Lilo.
You are teachable.
I am Lilo.
I'm telling you, Ntate, we will call you Yemana, Dr. Ndlozi, it hits a mona, it hits a man. Because creativity, it's part and parcel of this industry.
Yes, sir.
Innovation is part and parcel of this industry.
Yes, sir.
You cannot be a presenter if you are not creative, if you are not innovative.
Come on.
Yeah.
Rich.
And another thing, preparation. Don't make that mistake or out studio without preparation. You must respect this thing. Microphone.
That's sweetheart.
Microphone.
I love it.
Even today, when I go into the studio, I pray first.
Yes, sir.
I'm afraid of the microphone.
Yes, sir.
I will tell you about it.
We've gone in there already. It's top of the hour. You are listening to Power Talk. The conversation is continuing. Stay tuned. Let's take the news. Welcome back to Power Talk, Power 98.7. Me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. I'm with the veterans of the South African broadcasting sector, Mr. Magic Linda Sibiya, Unswember. Mam Shado Twala. Mam Shado Twala is my new tango partner.
Yes.
We're gonna tango all the way.
Yes.
All the way.
Ntate
Thuso Motaung, veteran. We had a brilliant conversation with another veteran of talk radio, the great John Roby.
Oh yeah! Wow!
Yeah, and the full conversation, the full interview, we'll load it on the Power Podcast and on YouTube as well. But here is a little bit of what happened when we talked to him. Take a listen. How are you, John?
I am blushing with pride and also blushing with embarrassment because after that introduction, I'm thinking up to the many mistakes I made on air, to the cock-ups I made on air.
Yeah.
And I'm reminded about rugby and radio where I can say the older I get, the better I was.
In my head, radio is first and foremost some voice I fall in love with. And I don't know, but my assumption growing up was, they choose first and foremost, do you have a radio voice?
Totally
Is there
wrong.
such a
totally
thing?
wrong.
Is there a
wrong.
radio
No,
voice?
Totally wrong. The old days, yes. The days of the BBC.
Yes.
The days of the SABC.
Yes.
That's your radio
Metro
voice. But somebody once said to me, I remember in the days when I received lots of abuse, and somebody said to me, John Robbie, she said, you've got the worst voice on radio.
Yeah.
She said, every time I hear you speak, it's like somebody who has been pushing a wheelbarrow full of wet sand, has thrown the sand out and has now dragged a spade across it. But let me tell you something else, because I used to get so upset with the insults. Here's the best one ever. And I regret, this is long before the days of sending tweets and messages and SMSs. They used to send you letters. And this letter I wish I'd kept. It said, Dear Mr. Robbie. And I thought, oh, that's very nice. It said, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. You are a effing, I won't say the word, communist. Every night I dream of pouring petrol on you and setting fire to it, and I'll fall asleep as you scream your way to a horrible death. Right? That was the effort that has gone into that. And it was signed a concerned Christian. But my point is, the criticism can hurt. You get criticism and people, because they think it's their radio station. And if you do something that they don't agree with, and you'll get a lot of criticism for taking somebody else's seat, by the way. And I said to because I'm a sensitive soul underneath this blasé exterior. I'm a sensitive little flower. And I said to Ian Grace, I said, all this criticism. He says, every time you get criticism, you stand up and you celebrate like you've scored a goal. Because he said, if you've got all the people who like you listening to you, you're a good radio host. But imagine if you've got also all the people who hate you listening to you. He said, then you're a great host. So after that, every criticism I got from people who heard something on air, I said, yes, but you're listening to me.
Last one. Is there a radio personality, not like public personality? What you keep saying, bring your personality. Honesty. What is a radio personality?
Honesty. It's you. You are the radio personality. People who put on a show, put on a performance. And I would say the one thing, looking back on my radio career, and I keep saying I made all the mistakes.
Yes.
Don't think I'm some great radio guru I made every mistake in the book, and I look back on some of them and absolutely cringe. But the one thing I can say with total honesty is that what you heard on the radio is what I am. What you hear is what you get.
Thank you so much, John. I'm going to embrace everything you said. And,
no, don't. Just think of it.
The most important thing.
Don't embrace it. Think of it. Think of it.
It's
Think of it
another
and
word
make
for
a decision. All right. Okay.
Yes.
But can I wish you the best of luck?
Thank you.
I know underneath your blasé exterior,
I'm very nervous.
You are very, very nervous. And can I tell you, after 30 years on radio, doing my last show on radio, I was more nervous than my first. Like an actor, the minute you lose those butterflies, you're finished. If you don't feel nervous before a show, you're not going to deliver. But I wish you everything of the best. And if you have half the career I had, you're going to have an amazing career.
The great John Robbie. That's the great John Robbie. Welcome to Power Talk. If you just joined us, my name is Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. We are here on our first day. We call it Orientation Day with the great Mam Shado Twala, Linda Sibiya, and Ntate Thuso Motaung. If you want to join the conversation, call us on the papers. The papers are getting everywhere. But I see we've got Buhlali and Rustenburg. Buhlali, welcome to Power Talk, and the veterans are listening. Hello, Buhlali.
Yes, our doctor. I just want to welcome you.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Johnson. And to be honest with you, hey, I was so worried. Tori. First day, and how are you going to start? I didn't even switch on gun 9. I delayed the time. But this thing of inviting the veterans to come there with you, born in Chapile ka surprise, and I said nothing. And I believe this. For them to be there with you or to talk to you, Lebo Mama Felicia, about Ntate Thuso, I think it will relax. It will make you relax and feel welcomed to this Power family. I'm so happy for you, Dr. Jones.
Thank you, Buhlali.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Tabangin Centurion, you are now with the veterans.
How are you, Dr.
Well. How are you, Tabang?
And the veterans.
Yes,
Dr. Thuso,
Yeah.
I want to say to you, Ntate Thuso Motaung, Ntate Linda Sibiya, and Mam Sheli,
Thank you.
when they were pushing, as they are pushing on radio, they have saved many lives. They have spoken life to different people. And I want to say to you, Dr. Ndlozi, you are unique.
Yeah.
And I want to say to you, may the good Lord bless you and encourage you and give you wisdom.
Yes, sir.
You are not like anyone else, and you are not replacing anyone else. God has appointed you on that chair. Do you, be you, do everything that God has sent you to do. I was listening to Ntate Sibiya as when he was working at Kosi FM. I did not miss any single show in the morning drive, because he spoke to our heart. He spoke to a lot of people who were supposed to kill themselves, but who were supposed to commit suicide. But he spoke the word of wisdom and encouragement. We are here today because of Ntate Thuso and Mbuyiseni. So I want to say to you, start your own journey with excitement. And one of the things that will take you far, Dr. Ndlozi, is to respect and honor the people that are behind you, that are producing you. I'm telling you, those people are going to take you far. So be humble, and you are not here to replace anyone. Be humble. But the lady who was Cecile Rato was Cecile Rato. When you go there, be like you and be crazy like never before. I trust in you. Welcome home, brother, and may the good Lord bless you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you. God bless you too. Usbiya, God did get listeners outside the Zulu language. Mamthwala, before I go back to Mahulung Amatale, I'm going to push Ntate Thuso because I want a sermon before he goes.
Go there first. You already started. Don't break on my account.
I wanted something of a response to what John said from you. Because I know that in the English sort of space, in the city English radio broadcasting space, for some time you were one of the only black female voices, for a very substantial amount. And a powerful personality in that sense. And here is John telling us about hate mail. At some point, he was an actual target. Eugene de Kock told him, we were given an instruction to take you out. But I do think that at the center of most of those struggles is a woman. I mean, we talk large things and all of that. How, as a woman, did you exist within a male-dominated space where people want a male voice. They want an authoritative voice. How did you navigate
It's the
that?
same way you guys have been talking to each other with me sitting here. So, it says a lot about the state of the country.
Yeah.
We don't carry, we were entertainers, we were program fillers. We must talk about food in the kitchen, recipes, and baking bread and those kind. If you started talking about anything more serious or more responsible about that, people listen, but they'll get affirmation from a male who delivers that message. And I wasn't the only female voice. I think there's a time when I was probably the only female at Metro.
Metro, yes.
With like 10 guys around me who were supportive, who were protective, who always wanted to lift me up, Botim Mudisa, etc. But again, you were dedicated to female issues, even program ideas, if you brought them on. It's like, oh, but, let's let somebody take over. We're not insurance, family planning, and all of those kinds of things. And of course, there was a big problem of speaking English on an African black radio station, broadcasting in English. We got a lot of criticism around that because it was the first SABC radio station. I think they were responding to the competition Yako Bob. And Bob was getting the money, so I think SABC wanted to get that money. And speaking English, and it was also the kind of English, what John Robbie said, it was almost important to be able to articulate yourself properly, almost sounding like we're mimicking, of course, the British, So one got a lot of criticism about that. Why who you're trying to be? In fact, you're influencing our children not to appreciate their own culture and African language by speaking. So those fights were there almost on a daily basis. And sometimes you when you went to festivals and things like that, you'd see them more clearly than when you were back in the studio. Whenever you had promotions, I worked a lot with truckers on Shell Goes Trucking.
Yeah.
And the issues we were dealing with there was that trucking, kids were not proud to say their fathers are truckers because it was a job looked down upon. So people would hide, and truckers just were not recognized and seen. So I was the one that was navigating truck spots around Shell garages all over the place to talk to people older than me about using condoms because there were prostitutes on the road and because they travel long distances. So you had to approach things that they don't talk to women about. But also saying, Bona, you can't be buying sex on the road, but you must be eating well as well. So much so that we had to give them coupons so that they don't have cash too. But my message was not coming across as much because I was female. But they would listen to Treasure Shabalala, tell them those things. And of course, it's all nice. So some of the challenges.
It's the biggest contradiction I know. Most of us are grown up by women, particularly black men in urban areas because of migration. In the rural areas, nkhuliswa wogogo. Kodwa anifuni bahlonipha. Anifuni ukuyithatha lento kubona ukuthi their voices igcotshiwe nayo voice yabo. Very 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 powerful. Ntate Thuso has to separate with us in the next 10 minutes. Mare. If it was Sunday, if it was Sunday today, and the news, Ntate Thuso, whereas they are today, bana ba skolo ba tswile saying ba hlapa batswadi ba babaisa pula yana ba fitla nokeng ya bakwinya. That was the last of them. You are on Makhulunga Matala now. What would be your message to those people, to those kids, to those families of victims of the floods that are occurring? And these floods, we know, as they pump like this, Johannesburg in the informal settlement, everybody is panicking. Pelutsamaya. Lenaneo haramananeo.
Inekitlari ha me afumana molaetsa wa hore ngwana ha saleyo moradi o tsamaile ka baka la metsi hoseng o mmone ha a tswa a tsamaya fahleo seo se benyang pososelo ke ne ke tla bina fela se reng it is well with my soul with my soul it is well with my soul ke ne ke tla bina fela seno ke re modimo o a tseba ke wena a tsebang gore ho etsaetseng o tlile jwang gore ka jeno ebe ha ke sana ngwana eo leng wa ka ntho e bohloko fela gore wena Jehova wa ka wa mpolella a wa ka wa bua le nna ka nako gore ka tsatsi le leng ke tla be ke hloka ngwana wa ka a wa ka wa mpolella ka nako gore hona le motsotso o tlang o fihla bophelong ba ka gore ke hloke ngwana ka eo ke ileng ka mo jara kgwedi tse 9 kaofela Jehova bohloko ba pelo ya ka ke tle ke bontshetse kaina empa o bana o tsebile ke ipeha maotong a hao motsotsong mona ke a o kopa mphe matshidiso a nnete o ske wa tla ho nna ka botshabego tlo ho nna ka matshidiso o ske wa tla ho nna ka ntwa o ske wa tla ho nna ka lehadima o tlo o tle ho nna ka matshidiso ha o so nkile ngwana enwa wa ka ha o so nkile lesia lena la ka ke beela ko kopa hape ha le fihla ho wena o ske wa leleleka o ske wa leleleka ha le dule le wena qhoboshianeng ya hao ha le dule le wena qhoboshianeng ya hao ha le dule le wena qhoboshianeng ya hao hobane motsotsong ona nna ke hatsetse ha ke na letho le ha ke kwala lenaneo ke be ke re ho e mong le mong ya hlokahalletsweng ke ngwana e ne ile nako ha ona motho a tsebang nako ya hae ha ona motho a tsebang hore na nako e tla fihlaneng ke ka ho mme a neng alla a re hoja wa mpha nako hore ke tsebe hore ka nako ena ke tla be ke sena ngwanaka e ne ile nako mme wa ka mo le nteng motsotsong ona wena ya hlokahalletsweng wena ya bolaetsweng moratuwa wena ya bolaetsweng ngwana ha ntse o ipotsa dipotso modimo re e ne ile nako
mama
wa tseba ka mokgo o tshilong ha monate ka teng kutlwa nkare tshwanetse re translate ho Sezulu hobane bomme ba mo bana ba mnyametseng teng ba ka se utlwise le emotion ya teng
yes
base card
awisho Sibiya mayisho mamshedo uma ekhuluma ukuthi bekuyisikhathi akekho umuntu owaziyo ukuthi isikhathi sakhe sifika nini uma sevumile uNkulunkulu ukuthi isikhathi sakho noma ngoba kwenzeka kaleni uwena enganeni kodwa isikhathi bese sifikile akekho umuntu wazi isikhathi uhamba nini umuntu Ntate Thuso siyabonga
izwe libaluleke kakhulu bengifuna ukuthi bazwe nawo
bekuyisikhathi
zokwazi ukufinyelela enhlizweni yabo
leyo voice yakho
ngoba uma ingane ivuka ekseni athi mama lena ingane yami bethemba ukuthi ihambe esikoleni and intambama uzoyibona mayibuya esikoleni kodwa uthola umbiko uthi akasekho umntwana umama akavume bekuyisikhathi akekho umuntu wazi isikhathi nezingane bezingazi namhlanje ziyahamba kodwa ubaba uThuso ucela ukunitshela bomama emakhaya bekuyisikhathi lalani ngenxeba nokuthula kubhlungu kodwa vumelani ukuthi lesi bekuyisikhathi
Ntate Motaung
yo ntate wa
khapu ya mahlono
amen
ko lakaletsa Katleho le Mahlonolo
Ke a leboha ngwaneso.
ke a tseba hore re tlameha re o lokolle ke a leboha ho menahane ka ditlhonolofatso ditaelo and pelo ya ka e buleile ke leboele le batho ba kwa KZN ka molaetsa wa hao modimo wa hlonolofatse he must keep it. He must keep you for us.
Amen.
He must keep you for us for many, many years to come. This is our token of appreciation from the Power team led by Denzel Taylor. If you're joining us now, this is Power Talk on Power 98.7. We are with Shado Twala, Linda Sibiya, Ntate Thuso Motaung, veteran broadcasters. We're going to take, before the news, just a few of your voice notes. And then we go to the news after just a few voice notes of how you feel thus far about the show.
Hi, welcome, Ndlozi. Long awaited. Since the announcement, we've been waiting for you. I'm laughing now. Also, I wish the late Jackson Tembu would have announced or be on your show as well. I would have wished how he was going to deliver that speech. No, enjoyed the journey, Mr. Ndlozi. Dr. Ndlozi, I must say. Good to have you on board.
Good morning, Dr. Ndlozi and your visitors. My name is Leeto Moritwane from Four Ways. Welcome to the Power family. I wish you all the best with your radio journey and great strategy for inviting, the legends to help you ease your first day into radio. Yeah, all the best, man. Yeah, we are looking forward to the next days to see what you have lined up for us in the coming, first few days or the first week. Yeah, good luck, man. Cheers.
If you're joining us now, this is Power Talk with me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Lovely energy here with the veterans, Ntate Thuso Motaung, Linda Sibiya, and Shado Twala. We're going to take the headlines now at 11:30. Stay tuned. The headlines with Nyakalo Tifu.
Connect with Mbuyiseni on X at Mbuyiseni Ndlozi.
It's extremely cold and it's wrong. My producers are they're being nostalgic, huh? They're being nostalgic. Mama, I
say that young man in the US is very happy you were extremely cold.
There's this conversation we had offline that I want to bring in here about the constant
nerves.
Being constantly accosted by fear, nerves towards the responsibilities. And I think a lot of listeners can relate with that. It's not just, this new first show, but there's this sustained fear that accosts us as human beings in relation to most of the responsibilities we have to do in life. And you had a brilliant, and I think motivational, therapeutic input in relation to that.
Well, I said the day you lose those butterflies in your stomach, and I think John Robbie alluded to it, then don't come to work.
Yeah.
Because it's not the authentic you coming out again.
Sure.
And this is what gives us fear, is the vulnerability. Not all of us are comfortable being vulnerable.
Yeah.
But you're coming here without your hat as Dr. Ndlozi or the People's Bay or whoever else, whatever title you have, even your academic, does nothing for you, except for people want a human being to be sitting behind that microphone and be the best you can, honestly as you can, most authentic. So it's that vulnerability that gives you fear.
Yeah.
But it's also an excitement. It's your own little secret of a place you go to to be yourself. And you have the opportunity to visit that every day.
Yeah.
Every day you get to sit in your own comfort, almost in your own garden, on top of the world. And take a breath and say, who am I?
Yeah. Sure.
And this is the vantage point I address and see. So whatever it is you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So I say embrace those nerves.
Yeah.
Shado, and again, if kuzophela ukusaba uze radioing, you must know good. Akufanele uze radioing. I've done radio and television. When I do my recording of Umnagwe today, I tell the producers, I want to have 10 minutes. I want to pray. I want to read my script again. I want to make sure. I'm still scared. With camera and the microphone. Even now, 20 years of radio experience, now TV 13 years. So I'm still scared. Ukonsiluma if ungasabi ungezi emsebenzini because now uthathe advantage for abalaleli. The listener iyakuzwa and again umkhuluma on top of their heads, they can even listen. They pick up everything. You're not indoda, you're not white, you're not black. Let buena. Just be yourself. You know,
Trust,
do you know, I was on...
Trust.
I was on McG's show. So, I mean, it's a pre-recorded show. And before we started, McG is like, let's pray.
Yeah.
People, and I asked him, I'm like, Chief, why didn't you do this in the show?
Live.
And you know what he did at the end of like 2 hours or something is like, we're closing the show, please pray.
I saw that. Beautiful.
Yeah. So let's bring in some callers who want to also have a conversation with our veterans. Sfiso from Pretoria, welcome to Power Talk. And if you're just joining us now, we are in a conversation on Power Talk with Mam Shado Twala, veteran of broadcasting, and Linda Sibiya, Mr. Magic. Sfiso, the veterans are with you.
Greetings to everyone. I get to Ivory Pretoria. I guess we so much have no
Rustenburg. Sorry about that.
No, it's not a change smash. First time I met you at the Mbuyiseni was Meron Trekova, I think Sebuke, under the leadership of Mtim Kulu. You know that organization. And the speech that you delivered to the men was life transforming, particularly for me. And I think you probably don't remember that, but for me, it left an indelible mark. And I just want to thank you for really accepting this offer for you to come and talk to us. We really don't take it for granted. And I believe that God will use you mightily to transform lives. And I believe that you're the right candidate for that. They speak about the fear. I'm listening to the veterans there, and I thank God that you have people like him. There's a saying that says that if you see me being able to see further than my peers, it's because I'm standing on shoulders of great men and women. And I believe that that's absolutely what they're doing right there, to being that broad shoulder for you. And I believe that the fear and the nervousness they're referring to is not necessarily to being scared, because there's a scripture that says fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And that does not necessarily refer to being afraid, but it speaks about reverence and being respectful. So I believe that they're saying that as long as you have respect for the mic and the people, everything will go well. I decree and declare the blessing of the Lord may shine his face upon you, may lift his face upon you, may give you shalom, shalom, that you may be blessed. May the rest of your life be the best of your life.
Thank you. Amen. We bless you back, brother. I remember the meeting. It was in Tsepiso in Everton. I remember it very well. And I'm great to hear from you again. And God bless you too. Thank you so much. Let's take from Merafong. Malax. Welcome to Power Talk.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ndlozi. It is actually Malux.
Malux. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Kimalule, Kimwana, Chiwagu.
Oh.
So Malux is actually derived from my surname.
I see. Well, the veterans are all ears.
Thank you very much. I just want to start by welcoming you to our home.
I
think it is important that I emphasize this fact. This is our radio station. We love it. We're falling in love with the radio station from inception. As long as you can respect that, it is our radio station. Whenever you are there, just to drive you.
Thank you.
Then you will go a long
Got
way.
you.
I remember my first I think show that I listened to was when Ntate Thuso was interviewing Tbo Touch, and the signal in Merafong is bad. So I had to listen online via my phone. It was a BlackBerry by then, and 110 rands was finished within a short space of time. So that's just the love that we have with the radio station. Yeah, I just wanted to make you aware of that part. And I want to say to the chairman, congratulations for taking such a bold step. We did not see this one coming.
It's very bold.
It's a very bold statement that he took, and we really appreciate it. And we hope that you will continue to listen to us. And some of us don't call in as frequent, but we listen religiously to this radio station because we love it. And today, I think maybe my parting shot would be, you did well by bringing the legend into the radio.
Thank you.
Into the studio. But it's still able to go by once you can continue on that path, and then you are in the upward trajectory.
Thank
These
you
are
so
the people
much.
that will continue to guide you. Thank you, Ntate Thuso. Thank you, Babu Sibiya, and thank you, Thuso Motaung. You did well. I enjoyed the show. I tuned in since 9 o'clock. I've been trying to call in. Eventually, I got in. I just want to say, Rafong is equally represented.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And I promise we'll treat this platform with sacredness and with the full understanding that it belongs to the people. Before khona umuntu wasemqanduli la Mawande Mqanduli Eastern Cape, and they, are you there, Mawande? Molo?
Yes.
Unjani bhuti?
Philile bhuti kuhle kunjani?
Enkosi, welcome to Power Talk. Mam Shado and Babu Sibiya, they are all ears.
Yes, but mandibulise apho kwi-legends ntathu uLeeds no Twala and also Ntate Motaung. What about Ntate Motaung? Because I'm a Xhosa person who doesn't understand Sotho, but to him, I always listen to Lesedi for him on Sundays. I remember him when he likes to say, Kimakulonga Matala. And also he likes to say, Maine.
Yeah.
I remember those things. And also another basic in Sotho when he was saying another day when there was a pastor who was preaching there, when he says, Unale mifuta ohopo.
Mufuta ohopo,
I've also learned something to him.
I wish he was here.
wanted to learn something new on this basis. I wanted to just welcome you, the doctor, and say that it is good for you that you have brought the best on the studio. Because my parents used to say to me, if you have tried to associate yourself with the best, even you will be the best. So even me, I'm here to represent people who are differently able, because I'm a person who's visually impaired. But I wanted to warm welcome you, Doctor, and say that all the best for the other people that are coming.
It's such a pleasant thing, but divumtobia emqanduli. Siyabulela. Let's take Khanyi Makubani from Johannesburg. Welcome to Power Talk.
A very, very good morning to you, Dr. Mbuyiseni. How are you?
I'm fine, Sissy. How are you?
I'm good.
Too many men calling on this show. I'm so happy. I keep fighting the team that I'm sure there are a lot of women calling, and finally we come to hear you. The platform is yours. The veterans are listening. Khanyi?
Thank you. Let me start by greeting the veterans, my colleagues, Shado Twala, as well as Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. I've been a radio broadcaster for 25 years before I decided to take a break. And Shado was talking about the vulnerability of radio and how the listeners can hear so acutely who and where you are emotionally, no matter what you do. And I'll share just two very quick anecdotes. The late Mbuyiseni, he passed away just hours before my show was to go on air.
Sure.
And we were at SAFM, and we were all devastated and gutted. And I didn't know how I was going to do my show that day. And I couldn't even finish the first link. I literally just said, A very good evening to you and welcome to the show. And I burst out into tears on live on radio. You know, it was a very raw moment of emotions. And there was a flurry of SMSs and calls, people almost feeling like they want to run to you and hug you virtually because they can feel the pain in your voice. And that's what radio does. It's a very raw and inclusive medium. When you are talking, it's different from typing on social media and just throwing a gag. People hear you. You know, you can't pretend on radio. Radio has saved me many times when I was going through terrible times in my life. But when the light goes on red, the listeners don't have a background of what's happening. I need to give them the best of me, you know. So that's the one anecdote. The other one is the surprises that come with radio. I once had Miriam Makeba calling into my radio show, and I thought it was a prankster.
Yeah.
Right? Because on the screen I see Miriam Makeba, and I go in and I say, "Hello, Miriam."
That must have been a moment.
It was a moment. And especially because we were talking about grandmothers and grandchildren, and that's the topic that touched her. And she started, you know, Kanye, we are so lonely. These girls don't want to bring their children. I can't be on stage forever singing. But so those are the moments that radio gives you if you just allow yourself to just be you and let people love you for who you are.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you very much for that.
Wow,
Mama.
I see you getting all heated up, and these are the moments. Thank you, Kanye. These are the moments that will happen to you, and you cannot anticipate. You cannot plan for them.
I'm thinking about my grandmother.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
In fact, I took Miriam Makeba to my daughter's school as a grandmother, and she got there and she said, "I'm not coming here only for your daughter, but for all the other children whose grandmothers are not here." So she was that kind of old lady. But the reason I raised my hand because I didn't think we'd get an opportunity. One of your first callers mentioned that he was mentioning that you're going to bless a lot of people, and you know people will bless. But I wanted to leave a piece for you on your agenda as a broadcaster now for our nation, especially, but maybe the whole continent, because I think that we've woken up to a new time in our lives where we need to connect as a people and not point fingers at government. I think one of your presenters this morning mentioned that with Tessa, mentioned that we had street committees when we grew up and we were organized. We formed committees to do the things that we complaining government is not doing for us. And we need to take our power back. We need to take our agency back and not sit there. Yes, government has got work to do, but I think we need to own the work that needs to be done. And I think that could be your daily agenda, because everybody, you open those lines, they'll tell you what's wrong in the country. But in your space where you're standing, what are you doing about it? And I think if we could all recognize that, and I trust you will continue this message, how do we build together?
To sort of facilitate solutions.
Galvanize
and
them.
they probably are there in their heads.
But people think, that's not my job. Government must give me money to do this.
Yes.
And, you know, government can give you money when you're organized. When you are the community of Dube, for instance, where I come from. Community of Dube, you know, used to do things, clean the streets. When garbage wasn't fetched, we made sure that our garbage was done with, you know. We were a community, you could not separate us. But I think we've forgotten who we are and where we come from.
Because the notions of freedom have probably sort of
I'm
gravitated.
Taking you there.
No, I got you. I mean, I got you. That used to be my daily bread. But there is something important about reviving the notion of freedom where the people are their own liberators. And to liberate ourselves is precisely that, taking on responsibility for our own lives. And that comes with fighting against anything and anyone that takes away our ability to take care of ourselves. to own our destiny, as it
Yeah.
were, our futures, our spaces. Don't give in to the street criminals. Don't give in to the hierarchies. Don't give in. We must make sure at all times that we own up to our own freedom. I think it's a powerful agenda.
Because no one's coming to save you.
No, yeah.
No one's coming
Probably
to
when
save you.
Jesus comes, he's going to say, "Pick up the cross." Pick up your cross. Yeah, I mean, people are waiting for Jesus. They probably are going to be shocked because when he arrives, he's going to say, well, pick up your cross.
Exactly.
We are going to Golgotha
Sure,
together.
follow me.
I don't know. I mean, I realize this capacity to move across languages. And Mom was saying earlier on, there was this big criticism about English in the beginning. I mean, embracing our. Do you think, Sibiya, we should be doing shows like you? No, like clean, beautiful, but at the same time, you had the same problem. As soon as you said Ntswember, people felt you are not doing well on our. And one of the big things now, I mean, the Afro Forum is about the protection of a culture, at the center of which is Afrikaans. They want to go to the US and speak Afrikaans in the US.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Before ngaphambi ngikuphendule, but ngicela ukusho Mama Shado ukuthi when you come on air every day, my brother, Dokotela, people bane appointment to hear you every day. Once, but utena the listener, that's our station.
Yeah.
Yabona when you do the show, Nami listening Mama Shado ngangithi that's my mother. That's
Yeah,
me. That's
yeah.
I was like part of the show. Sometimes sicabanga ukuthi the listeners abayazi radio. Bayayazi radio. But bayokutshela ukuthi how you introduce the song, how you back announce the song, how you went to the news. Like obade yasho ukuthi ngiyakubona even manje you know ukuthi une live read, you know ukuthi fune kuma headlines, now you know must come back, you go to the callers. Kunabalaleli abathi uzongifaka kanjani. So every day bane appointment to listen to Dr. Q. There's one. Number two, when as a host every day, ishow yenzayo is like it's your last show every day. It's like we are yega every day. God give me strength, give me wisdom, give me power, give me creativity. When you're on air, you give the best. Your team, content producer, technical producer, scriptwriter, whoever. When you sit, you are thinking about listeners, and you broadcast to one listener, and you tell bonga bantu guti, I'm listening to Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Coming back to your language, Gukozi, I remember you even dropped igama lesingisi, and then you get an email to why ufaki igama lesingisi, because bafuna pure isiZulu, and then ufaki lingo, but why you bring it on radio? Now sokushintshile.
I see.
I'll make an example. Because FM sell Beyonce, we transgender Wednesday 3 to 6 Because FM. I never imagined ngaleso sikhathi ukuthi kungenzeka. Sokushintshile. But bayafisa bona ukuthi we want to hear uSibiya sanibonani ninjani. Uma ngithi live because dumelang mbonjo.
Yeah.
Thobela.
Dimadegwana.
Ligai. Repeat. Baba, usethini umfana? Kodwa ekugcineni it's important when you do your show abantu basevayo maningi. So give them the best.
But there is something powerful there about these people. I mean, I don't think we can easily dismiss the idea that, but what will happen to our language?
Sure.
Because people do get erased. These languages, although apartheid thought they were boxing us, separating us, but there was something about the fact that Koni radio, lapho kukhulunywa khona isintu.
Sure.
And the discourse is able to be facilitated ngesintu, so that people are home to express themselves and so on. I mean, the future of language in that sense is a difficult one.
Being in an urban space. Sometimes you've got to cross-reference.
I see.
And mix languages. While we were trying to get to know each other as South Africans who were being forced into the same space, Soweto and all the other townships then our borders opened. Now we need to be speaking Nigerian. Now we need to be understanding. But there's a kind of patois that's going to arise out of all of that, which is starting to happen on Twitter, for instance. Life evolves, language will evolve, and some words will fall off, some will stay on. But I think it's also very important that we make an effort in teaching those languages by giving a lot of literature in the particular language. Literature doesn't die. By showing movies and videos and creating stuff, music, that will remind people and make them curious. What does that word mean, actually? You know, and I'm loving the fact that we're singing in all our languages. We're doing things that we usually do. So it will evolve in the urban areas. Like Twitter, we think the world is Twitter, but actually the country is big and the continent is big. It is multiplying itself in the different spaces.
You would say social media has not succeeded in killing radio?
Oh, no.
We're here to defend radio.
In fact, radio is not dying soon.
Not now.
Listen, radio is going to be there for a very long time. Because it's the one trusted medium where people know that you spoke to real guests today. You discussed real issues.
There's no misinformation.
There was no misinformation.
We're not AI. We're not characters.
There was proof. There's cameras and everything. So sivukile. And we're breathing life into the show for a long time.
It's no bay.
Thank you.
It's no bay.
Sinama gifts la. I want to do it myself, but I've got producers. This is Tbo. She doesn't want me to say Tbo. Where is Fano? He's our second producer. Wazani nzobonga. Let's come, guys. Yeah, come. And Denzel. Yeah, I have huge admiration, not just respect. I have respected, but they are cooking me, Mama.
Yeah,
I'm in their hair. I'm like clay in their hair.
They've got your back.
I have no idea. I have no what I'm doing today. Yeah, these are
rising on a point of order.
These are the principles.
We're not rising here. Yeah, we're doing radio. I'm rising on a point of order. No, Madam Chair. The minister is sleeping. We are playing. Yeah, we are doing radio.
The days of point of order are over. Thank you so much. Thank you for the love, Mama. We love you. And thank you for affirming radio. Your presence here for us, above everything, is for everybody else that still trusts this medium. And I think we've had the most educational session, certainly for me. Babu Sibiya, I wish you the best. And I wish you can find your way back to the mic.
I'm not done, I'm back.
Yeah, I know you're still fighting for your way back. And we love you, we thank you, we wish you the best.
Do you know your face says so much. I wish everybody would see you right now. Your face has shown me so many emotions, but a lot of honesty as well. Your eyes
thank
smile.
you.
Eyes smile, which is beautiful.
Thank you. This is our token of love and appreciation from our producers, Fano and Tbo and Denzel Taylor, and our program manager, Neo, with a lovely afro out there. We thank you. And that's Power Talk. That's me, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, on our first day. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned. We're taking the news. It's midday.